Welcome to DTM TV, Enyanya, and I am your host, Elijah Meru. 2 seconds. Yeah, so today we're going to discuss about, we're starting a new program that we are calling ELA, Enyanya Leadership Academy. It is a program that will be broadcasting every Sunday and we'll be talking about leadership. So we will be having our first lesson today, which we are just discussing about what is leadership or who is a leader. That will be our first topic today. And we welcome people to call and to also contribute in what we have to say. There are millions of books, people who have written about leadership, and I'm not claiming that I know everything, but I just want to share my small experience as a leader. And I think that that's one of the topics that we need to discuss more, especially for those of us who come from the continent of Africa, where I think we have a problem with leadership to some extent. And so there's so many definitions, as I say, there's so many people, there's so many books, there are thousands of books which have been written concerning leadership. And today we want just to discuss a little bit about this topic called leadership. And I know that every one of us is a leader in his or her own right, because to some extent you've got someone, 2 or 3 people in one way or the other who follow you, because when we talk about leadership, you can't be a leader if you don't have followers, you don't have people who look up to you. So there are so many people calling themselves leaders, so many people who other people called leaders, but I want to know if they are really leaders. And that's why I want us to kind of discuss, and our line is open. You can call us on WhatsApp. The number is scrolling down your screen. And you can discuss a little bit about this. We can combine English and Swahili and French, whatever language comes better for you. But we want to discuss a little bit about leadership. And I think that this is a topic that we can't discuss more about, because this is a serious problem, a serious challenge that we have on the continent, whether you're talking about our political um, environment, whether you're talking about religion, whether you're talking about even family setup. To some extent, we need to discuss about all these things. And a leader is an individual or a group of individuals who influence and guide the followers or other members of organization. Some people define leadership as such. But I want us to, among the so many definitions, I want us to define a leader as someone who sees the need of changing existing problem. Someone who sees the need of changing an existing problem and thinks on how these things can be done better, or thinks about how to bring about a solution. It doesn't stop there. A leader is someone who does then everything within his or her power to rally people to move towards changing things and making them better than they were. So a leader is someone who sees a problem and who does not complain about that problem, does not only look around and try to find somebody to blame, but he's somebody who tries and think about a way of solving that problem. That's what I'm thinking. And so, and as a leader, then once you realize that there is a problem, you also acknowledge that you are not able to solve that problem yourself, even though maybe in your head, in your vision, you know exactly what to do and what needs to be done, how things ought to be, as opposed to how things are. Then you use that your vision, that your solution that you have in your head to rally people, to influence people, to bring people together, to talk to them and show them, here we have a problem and I'm proposing this solution, but I want you to join me in solving this problem. So this definition shows us some few things. That most important thing in this definition is that leadership is about people. It's not about you as an individual. What we can see in leadership today about the people who call themselves leaders today are people who are simply using other people to benefit, to go where they want to go, to get what they want to get, you know. But here, the definition that we have, that the leader is someone who sees a challenging problem, who sees an existing problem and finds a way of resolving it by involving other people, by bringing these people around themselves to kind of find a solution for that problem. Now, we see that people, if you are a leader, then people are at the center of everything that you do. You know, people are at the center of all your mission, your vision. You know, you're doing it not for yourself, but you're doing it for others. You know, there are millions of people who find themselves in a position of command, you know, but are not leaders. Not everyone who has people behind them is a leader. You know, you see, for example, in politics, what I can see today, because you can't talk about leadership without talking about politics, talking about religion, because in politics we have leaders, in religious environment we have leaders, in family we have leaders, in business we have leaders, but there are different people who call themselves leaders, but after we have discussed about this topic today, you will be able to know if those people are really leaders or they are not, you know. And so these people, instead of serving these people, instead of serving, they want to be served. Instead of solving problems, they complain. They use people to reach their selfish gain instead of solving the problem of other people. And I think this is a serious problem that we have today, because in most parts of Africa, because I'm talking to Africans, wherever we might be, that you don't become a leader to use people to become who you want to become, or to reach your selfish ambition, your selfish um, objectives, or selfish goals. You go into leadership because you think you have seen a problem somewhere and you have a solution. And because you have that solution, then you rally then people, you bring people together, you convince other people, you influence other people to join you in finding the solution. But it's not what we are seeing today. When you look at churches, there are people in churches, church leaders, for example, or religious leaders generally. There are people who are using other people and they're making themselves richer. And at the same time, the people they are leading are continuing to live in misery and suffering and poverty. We can't call these people leaders. These are looters. That's the right word. They are looters, not leaders, or misleaders, not leaders. You know, you see in politics, so many people want to go in politics today, not because they want to solve the problems of people, which is the intention, which is the backbone, which is the foundation of leadership in the first place, as we talking about solving other people's problem. But you see, these people are going into politics simply as a way to enrich themselves. Once they are there, they can come and talk to people and promise people heaven. But once they are on that position of leadership, whether duly elected or whether they have been just put there in some tricks, as you know, the politics is done today, those people forget completely about people and they become corrupt and they make themselves rich. They build houses here, houses there. They buy cars, they buy all this stuff. and they do nothing concerning the people. And so you can't say you are a leader simply because you are using people to make a sense. And I'm not saying that because you are a leader, then you should forget about yourself. Then you shouldn't have buy things that you need in life. But it shouldn't be that you're going into leadership because simply you want to accomplish your selfish gain or your selfish ambition. You know, a leader takes full responsibility of his or her decision. Someone who takes, because once you claim that you know a solution of a particular or a given problem, then at that time, if what you planned or if what you saw as a solution did not work as you planned, you take full responsibility. But that's not what you're seeing. You see people who want to associate with success. Once they've done some stuff and they have succeeded, these people they associate with that. Once there are things not going the way they want them to go, these people these associate themselves with this, and instead they start blaming and saying things did not work out the way we planned because of so and so. They don't take responsibility. A leader is someone who takes the full responsibility of whatever they intend to do. There will be people who will criticize. You know, once you do something, and as a leader, you need to understand that whether you do something good, whether you do something bad, whether you succeed or fail, whether you don't do even anything, people will still criticize you anyway. Now, if you have done a decision and you've taken a decision and that decision was not popular and people criticized you, and maybe the result was not as expected, or even when the result is good, there still be people who will criticize what you've done. And so, as I'm saying, leaders understand that they have to take full responsibility. And for this reason, some people will even be afraid of taking any decision because leadership again is about decision taking because they are afraid of being criticized. And this is a serious problem because once you are afraid of being criticized, then you will never take any decision at all. Some decision will produce positive results, build on those results, and do better tomorrow. Some other decision will produce negative results, learn from those negative results, and do better tomorrow. It is better to take a bad decision than not taking any decision at all, you know? Because that is what followers expect of any leader, decision taking. You know, a young man who met this young girl, this young man who met this young girl, and he wanted to court the lady, and this young girl have worked hard and she has earned her money, she has saved her money around 10,000 US dollars, and then ask this guy, you want to be my leader because you are claiming you love me, you want to become my husband, and here I have worked hard, I have my money here. Please advise me, how do we go about this? No, the young man said, if you ask me, I'll just ask you to bring that money, and then we just have a wonderful wedding, have a party, buy some clothes, and that's it. Was that the reason why this young lady saved her money? Did she save all that money maybe for a year, for 2 days, and have nothing to show for it tomorrow, simply because we had a very wonder? And these are the kind of leaders that we elect in office today because we want people to come and manage what they have even no idea about how you earned it in the first place, and they don't have any vision at all on how to spend it, you know. So it's very important when you bring somebody either in your life, either in your ministry, either in your country as a leader, you need to know, are those people having people at the heart, or are they people trying to use other people to get to have for their selfish gain. That's what happens when someone who has no vision finds himself in a position of command. As I said, they don't know what to do with the resources that they find. Have you ever found somebody, and I've seen these kind of leaders even in countries, leading countries, somebody from nowhere just found himself a president of a country, for example, enters in the country, looks in the coffers of the country, there are some millions of money. And what does he do? Because he didn't have any vision, any plan. And forget about people coming and telling you this is the program that we have for the country. They read, anybody can read the program somewhere, but can write, or you can just pay some people and write. I've seen even people paying other people to write for them projects of school projects. So programs or people writing stuff down is not a does not mean that these people have a vision for a country, or have a vision for a church, or have a vision for the people that they claim they want to lead. And so when these people enter the office, they've got no idea of what to do. Then they start spending that money. They travel here, they travel there, they spend money here, they spend money there, they give money to their concubines here. And before you know it, the country is broke. Or you hear them going around the world like they're saying they want to go and bring money, spending money of the country, and instead of saying exactly what they want to do for the country. And I want us to conclude this topic by reading the book of Hebrew, chapter 11, and verse 24 and 27. I know that this is not a church thing, but we can get some good examples from everywhere. And this is a story by a man called Moses that the Bible records in the book of Hebrew, chapter 11, verse 24 and 27. It says, by faith, Moses, when he had grown up. So you need to be a grown up person. You need to be a mature person before you can be a leader. And this is again a discussion that we'll have the discussion that all those people who talk about leadership will talk about anyway. Is a leader born or is a leader made? That's not the topic for today. But you need to grow up before you can claim to be a leader. And growing up has nothing to do with age, has nothing to do with the number of years that you've been on this planet. It has everything to do with psychological maturity. Refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to be mistreated along with the people of God rather than to enjoy the fleeting pleasure of sin. He regarded disgrace for the sake of Christ as a greater value than the treasure of Egypt, because he was looking ahead to his reward. 27, it says, by faith, he left Egypt, not fearing the anger of the king. He perceived because he saw him who is invisible. That a leader is someone who sees what other people are not seeing. And that's what I'm calling leadership. And I'm asking myself a question: what would have made Moses somebody who has been brought up in the house? This is not another king, but was the most powerful king on earth at that period. But because he had a vision, because he saw a problem, he was ready to leave all this pleasure and to bring people around him and to make sure that he takes people from place A to place B. I conclude this by saying leadership is about people, leadership is about influencing people, leadership is about solving problems, leadership is not about complaining, leadership is about knowing exactly where you want to take people. God bless you and talk to you later. God bless you and bye bye. See you again next time. Ciao.